I need to raise the goal for the tip jar. I need to raise the goal for the tip jar because, bitch, it's a couple things that's on the verge of getting cut off. I'm behind. I get behind on my light bill so fast. The light bill was $592, and then they added $180 deposit when I transferred it over here. I have to raise the goal for the light bill. JJ daycare is $50, so we're gonna throw that in the goal. $50 to put him in daycare. I think it's like $60 a week. It's $50 to sign him up, and so those are the two big goals that I got for us.
So that one's pretty obvious, right? Obvious, obviously egregious, if you ask me, because we could just freeze frame it right there.
It's $50 to sign him.
Do y'all see her nails?
$50 to put him in daycare. I think it's like $60 a week. It's $50 to.
Look at her nails. You know, you're coming online and you're begging for light bill and you're begging for childcare money. Yet you're sitting in the house during the day, during the daytime when you could be working, because you just admitted that your kids go to daycare. So you could be working during that time, as well as you have your nails done. So what does it tell us? Most likely living off government assistance, so can't work. So what do a lot of people like to do? They come over to TikTok in order to supplement and get some free income that then they can live whatever the lifestyle is that they want to live. So you have the best of both worlds. You're stable as far as your bills, but you can't work. So you can't have money to have discretionary income. So TikTok is the easy way to get some quick discretionary income. And I wouldn't be surprised. She got her nails done. I wouldn't be surprised if she's trying to go out this weekend. So she's really soliciting this money because she needs to get her hair done too. I wouldn't be surprised. And the fact that they'll come on and have no shame to be begging. Meanwhile, they've got their hair done, their nails done, and while you're at work, they're sitting at home doing nothing. I think that's wild and very egregious.
The begging on TikTok has gotten out of hand. And y'all need to stop begging so much. Y'all dry beg. Even the big creators, y'all beg. And y'all make money on the 15th. Y'all beg entirely too much on this app. Y'all are too comfortable of begging. Now everybody come into hard times. Okay? We all do. We all have. But you cannot stroll you without somebody saying, well, I never done this before and I'm just too embarrassing to ask. Baby, listen, you got TikTok shop, you got TikTok, which you could go live. You got this creator program that we in, baby. You gonna have to make it work. This is a money making app, okay? And I know things don't happen overnight, okay? And maybe you can ask somebody one or two times. We all have fell on hard times. I know I have. Like I said, a few times. I'm not embarrassed to say that. And people has had to help me too. But when it gets to the point where you keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back, you are considered a user because you can do something about what you have going on. Okay? Everybody fall, but you got to get back up and dust yourself off, and you got to figure it out. Now I ain't saying you got.
She's preaching. And I love her balanced approach. You know, she has a very balanced approach when it comes to this. Yes, we have to look at both sides of the spectrum. One side is, yes, everybody does fall on hard times and everybody needs help. And everybody doesn't all have the same support system that everyone else has, right? I've had hard times and luckily I've had a support system. Some people don't. So I can even take that granted. You come on TikTok begging one or two times, I wouldn't do it, but we can take a balanced approach when it comes to these things. But what I will say is great that a lot of people are like screen recording, the people who consistently come on and beg, so that we do have some type of history, so that we do have some type of track record, and so that we can differentiate the people who are abusing the system versus the people like who she's speaking to. Really, she's speaking to the people telling them to stop, but she's also speaking to those who might need to do it once or twice, like she said. Okay, once or twice we could float that. But if you're up here treating this like it's your day job, then we need to have this recorded, documented, so that it can be exposed and brought to the light. And I think that's what's very important. And also, you have to remember that when you're begging, since you chose to go the easy route, there's going to be some drawbacks that come with that. The easy route. You chose to go online and start begging, as opposed to just do it in person. See, there's a stigma as far as recording people when they're down on their luck in public. Nobody's going to do that, right? They'll look like the a-hole if they're recording themselves helping you out. But then when you come on TikTok and you decide you want to get your money transferred, wired, and you want to get it instantly, and you want to get it in large amounts, well, at the end of the day, there's always going to be balance in the force. So since you chose to come online and start begging, guess what? You might go viral, and you might not like the way that you're perceived, and you also might not like the critiques that you get from everybody else. But that is the drawback that you have to accept when you decide to come online, and you decide that that's going to be the way that you decide to present yourself to the public. So people have to understand that as well.
Gotta spend money on. You gotta get back up and dust yourself off, and you gotta figure it out. Now, I ain't saying you gotta spend money on me. Like, you don't have to, but if you do, you do go up a few notches. Like, you skip the line a little bit. So, just do with that information.
If you got to spend money on a girl, it's because she don't like you. And personally, you shouldn't even deal with her. See, with a woman, it's different. Let's go out for some coffee. Let's go out for some ice cream. Let's go take a walk at the park. Let's go to the gym. Let's go work out, talk, have a conversation, get to know each other. That is different. But a lot of these girls would never. Because one, they got a whole roster of dudes. And two, they don't really like you anyway. They're there for the money. You spend some money, you jump the line. You pay for some nails, you jump the line. You pay a bill or two, you jump the line. You fly her out and, take her to a 5-star restaurant and things of that nature, you jump the line.
And well,
Exactly. You jump the line. So if you're saying that we jumped the line, then that means there is a line. And if there's a line, I don't even want to partake. Who? There's a certain level of cognitive dissonance here that I think that a lot of the ladies don't understand. I think traditionally it was the stigma that men will compete for women, right? Okay, cool. But I think there was a certain level of obliviousness that the women had while the men were competing for him, for them. Popeye comes to mind, right? You remember Popeye the Sailor Man? It was Popeye and it was that big other dude that was always competing for the woman. And it was like she had no idea that it was going on. But then when you bring to light that you're aware that you have a line of men, you're aware, you're entertaining all of them basically, and you're getting them to compete, but you're conscious of them competing and you're also accepting all the advances of all the different men, then that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different, now we're in a whole nother scenario, right? And it's also coming off like it's very strategic. Like this is what you're going for. And like the brother just said there, if you have to do all that anyway, then one, she doesn't probably like you like that. And two, is she even really worth it? Worth it? If that's her mentality, because we really have to go back to the mentality. And I'm really restraining myself a little bit, but here's what I'll say ultimately. And lastly, if you decide to go that route and ultimately decide to position yourself like that from the start, and I'm talking to the fellas, if you decide to position yourself like that from the start, just understand this moving forward. Moving forward, you're going to be in for a world of hurts, especially if you start to intertwine and intermingle yourself as well as your investments, right? If you actually start investing as well as start to intertwine your life in a way to where you've given away some of your power, some of your sovereignty, then understand we're just going to mark our clocks. And in time, due time, you will be in a world for pain eventually. Because based off what she's saying, we can look at her words, we can look at her actions because you should be watching her. And there's also certain unseen, unheard things that we can just feel. And if you, as a man, while you were listening to her, you didn't get some red flag energy and something didn't flag in your mind, then just understand you're very susceptible out here. You're very exposed, you're very vulnerable because my red flags went up while she was talking, and I can already tell what dealing with her is going to lead to in the long run. So I would steer clear. And I would also, if you did decide to deal with her in any capacity, you might want to make sure that you protect yourself in every aspect because her mind is off, because that's how she thinks. So there's not going to be anything that you're going to be able to do to change her. And I would even argue that someone with that type of mindset, it's only going to get worse. So as time goes on. So we'll leave it there. I wasn't expecting to talk about nothing like that in this video. This was supposed to be more so um, begging for money. But, you know, we had to pivot. And y'all like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join Limitless Legion. Cash App link below if you want to tip the channel. Buy your boy Iced Coffee. And also feel free to join the Patreon as well, where I do post exclusive content. It's not on YouTube. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video.